Right, our lecture today is going to be on lab safety. I'm going to touch on most of the important topics. This is generally going to be the basics. We're obviously going to go over other things in class, more important things. Safety is our primary concern in science class. We want to make sure that no one is injured. When you come into the lab, if you notice that there's chemicals out, there's equipment out, do not touch them until instructed to do so by your teacher. If you have a medical condition, please let me know before we begin the lab, whether it's an allergy such as a latex allergy, or if you are pregnant. Follow all written and verbal instructions carefully. Read all of the directions before you start the lab. You really have to think of chemistry labs like facts class when you're making things. If you were making bread, you didn't have the ingredients ready, you might screw something up. You want to make sure everything's there, everything's ready to go, so you have it when you need it. If you're unsure of something, ask your lab partner first. Ask around the table. If everyone has come to the same conclusion that they don't know, then please ask. Never do something in a lab because you're afraid to ask. Only do the experiments that are in the lab. Do not think of fun things to do that you saw on Mythbusters. We only do things that the labs say. We do not sit at the lab stations, even if there are stools. It's more dangerous in terms of using equipment and spilling chemicals on you. If there's any unsafe conditions in the lab, please let me know immediately. Work at your lab station only. Do not go to other lab stations and visit with people. If there's any accident, whether you are injured or not, report it immediately. You need to wear safety goggles at all times in the lab. If you do not, you will be asked to come in the front and write sentences. Know the location of the safety equipment in the lab. The eye wash station is in the front of the room. The emergency shower is in the front of the room. The gas shutoff valve is in the front of the room. There's also a fire blanket, fire extinguisher, telephone. Most of our safety items are in the front. Let me know immediately so we can use them if necessary. Dress properly during lab activities. That means tie back long hair, roll up long sleeves. Do not wear sandals or open-toed shoes. Remove jewelry or lanyards that you may have on. Never eat or drink in the lab. There might be residual chemicals in the lab, and we don't want to get that on the food that you're then going to be ingesting. Keep your hands away from your eyes, mouth, and body when you're using chemicals. Never touch, taste, or smell any chemicals unless specified to do so. If a chemical splashes in your eye or on your skin, you would go to the eye wash station. Here is a picture of one. And then flush your eyes for an extensive period of time, depending upon what you got in your eyes. Carefully read the labels on all chemical bottles. Make sure that when you're taking the chemicals, you're grabbing the chemical that you need. Some of them will have names that are very similar to each other, so you want to make sure that you get the right one. Never return any unused chemicals to the original container. That would mean we don't scoop something out and then put it back in because you have just contaminated it. So when we scoop things out of containers, make sure that you're just scooping small amounts of them. Follow all disposal instructions of chemicals given to you by your teacher. Most things in class we can put in the garbage or down the drain. Some things we cannot. On those specific labs, I will be telling you ahead of time, and I will have a disposal beaker for you out. We don't want to get that stuff into the environment, and that's essentially what we're doing if we put those hazardous chemicals down the drain. Handle all acids with care. Acids can be corrosive to your skin, to your tissues, and your sensitive areas like your eyes or your mouth. It will also put holes in your clothing. Report all broken glassware, labware, or equipment to teacher immediately. So if you open up a drawer and you see a beaker's broke, you see a test tube's broke, please let me know immediately. When you take glassware out of your lab station, you want to make sure that it's clean. If you see anything in it clean, never trust someone who was there before you. When you are finished with things, put them back. When you are using Bunsen burners, we need to be cautious. Make sure we don't have loose clothing on. All hair should be tied back. You never leave a Bunsen burner unattended. If you have a flame going, one of the lab partners need to be at the station at all times. If you are heating things, make sure that you point them away from people. So they shouldn't be pointing to the people across from you. out into the aisle or at you or your partner. Not following lab safety rules will not be tolerated. Depending upon the severity of the rule, it can go anywhere from a minor infraction of writing sentences all the way up to not being allowed to participate in labs or removal of the class, depending upon how severe it is. There really are some things in this class that can hurt you, so you really want to make sure that you are being safe while you are in the lab.